guys, my name is Clarissa Moon. This is the second video in a series I'm doing about Theater for Social Change. I'm interviewing Jeff Revels, the artistic director at the Orlando Repertory Theater. We talk about the Justice Project, the Rep season, and more. I am here with Jeff Revels, the artistic director for the Orlando Repertory Theater. Your social change efforts are focused on young audiences. Why is this so important to you?
Because that is who is going to change the world for the better, is our young people. So if we get them thinking young about topics and perspectives different from their own, then they are going to be the ones to make the change.
What is it like to participate in the Justice Project?
The Justice Project, it's a collaboration between a teaching artist, which comes from the Rep, police recruits from Valencia College, and then young men of color from Evans High School. We created a safe space using theater to create situations and encourage dialogue so that those two groups of people can share their perspectives with each other in a safe setting.
What is it like to be in that room? What do they ask each other? What do they talk about?
It's fascinating, and they talked about what's happening right now. It's uncomfortable because they are talking about young black men being profiled or shot or killed by police officers. The police officers talked to us about that and talking about how it's hard to be incoming police officers with the large majority of the country thinking you're the bad guy at this point in time. So it was uncomfortable discussions, truthful discussions, meaty discussions, ones worth having, ones where answers aren't necessarily there, and think about things in a different way. I think by putting theater as the tool, as the technique, made it feel safe for them to say, this is not Jeff talking to Clarissa necessarily, even though it was, but we had this safe thing between us that we could say, this is how we'll approach that discussion.
So are they acting out scenarios?
Yes, so every piece of it started with some of that, and then after that, talking about that scenario and things you could have done differently, or things that never would have occurred to you going through the other person's mind. So it was interesting and fascinating and meaningful work.
This year especially, your season is centered around social issues.
Yes, we are addressing social change through the shows that we are doing. For instance, we opened the season with Newsies. Newsies is about young people banding together with their voices to make a change. And then we are currently doing a show called Polka Dots, the Cool Kids musical, which is inspired by the life of Ruby Bridges and the Little Rock Nine. So in our version, Lily Polka Dot is purple. She has purple skin with pink polka dots on them, and she moves to a town where everyone has blue skin with squares on their skin. Now, why is that relevant still today in 2017 when we're talking 40 years ago is when this happened? Unfortunately, it's still an issue. On the first day of the first field trip, a teacher came to us and said, I was the first African American at my school, and now I'm a teacher there, and I brought my kids to see this show.
Wow.
Which means it wasn't 50,000 years ago in our history books. That's an example of some of the shows. Those are clearer. Other shows like Madagascar. Well, how is that theater for social change? I think it's about 4 Central Park Zoo animals, and they get uprooted from that life, and they're thrown in the middle of Madagascar. So they have to adapt to another culture that's very different than what they're accustomed to. It's all in what lens you're looking at things through. So it might not seem like it's a theater for social change piece, but really indeed it is, and that's why I think all theater is theater for social change, because all theater is there to promote and inspire empathy as a human. My hope and dream, even if it happens for one person, is that seeing something made them think a little bit differently and made them feel something for someone else. And if you can feel something for someone else, then we're moving the needle. If one assumption can be broken, or we learn how to put down our guard a little bit and listen, then I will have done my job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. This has been Clarissa Moon talking to the stars.